waits. He jumps over top of him, and he's got a touchdown.
Did not see that coming.
He gets 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 on his feet still, and he's gone for a 90-yard carry.
Put that on your highlight reel.
From 45 yards out.
There's the turnover.
And a great ball. It's complete for a touchdown. Hello and welcome to Championship Football here on APS-IS. Dave Schick and Joe Pukansky alongside me here, bringing you another great championship football season game here as the Buchtel Griffins and the East Dragons come in as what will be the granddaddy of the season here, as the two best teams in the conference will play it out to see who will be the championship award winner at the end, as it looks like Buchtel will be here to receive here at Infocision Stadium, Suma Field, as a squib kick goes to the right side. It's going to be touched and picked up at the 32-yard line, and a fumble right away on the first play. East bench erupts as they think they have it. The referees come in, and he comes up with the ball, and we're going to start with a turnover. 6 seconds in, and we've already turned things around, and it's going to be Saku Kamara who comes up with the fumble, as unfortunately the Griffins, Nino Jennings was the one that had the ball kind of kicked at his shin, picked it up and returned it, but turned the ball over, and now the Dragons will take over in Buchtel territory, all ready to start.
Never had like his feet out under him, and he took a big hit, causing that fumble. And there you go for the Dragons, a team who is on fire and on a mission, trying to avenge their loss in last year's City Series championship game to these very Buchtel Griffins.
Akron City Series football is brought to you right here on APS-IS as the formation moves to the top of your screen. 4 wide up there, and it spreads open the middle to run up the center, and he'll keep it himself, and off he runs is going to be Bengali Kamara, number 9.
Yeah, Kamara doesn't only do it on the defensive side of the ball. Big arm, and he shows the wheels there. Nice gain on first down.
Yeah, so a gain of 7 on his first carry. But an interesting formation we haven't seen in the last couple games that we've covered East. Spread in 4 up on the top, 5 wide total. Now back to 4 wide that we've seen. Hand the ball into the center, and they fake it, going to the handoff, and he keeps it himself, and he's going to gain another 6 on that carry.
It's almost like this is something they saw Dave on film, saying, you know what, if we spread them out, that we got a lot better numbers inside. And then on the read option there, Kamara keeps it for the second time in their first down, and they're in business here.
So this game's certainly going to be one full of highlights, as our cameraman is here, Peter George, up in our booth here from Infocision Stadium in the press box. Probably the warmest place in the stadium tonight, as winter is upon us, about 30 degrees outside right now, as they hand the ball off to the right side. He bounces out, tries to cut it back upfield, and we'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and Romeo Felton on that carry.
Yeah, Felton bounced it at first, and that's never a good design. Ricky Good first on contact, the senior who's been making a lot of tackles in the last few years for this Griffin defense.
And the Griffin defense, certainly as we've seen on our APS-IS broadcasts, and you can see on our YouTube channel from the highlights and so forth, a very fast team on the defensive side, on the edges especially, and their linebacking core. You saw it on that last play. Looking to hand the ball off to the left side again, and will stretch and pull for about a 6-yard gain, but will set up a 4th down and short.
Felton more north-south that time as he slipped the first tackle. Cuts it about in half, setting up a manageable situation for the Dragons here.
They are going for it. No even thought of bringing the kicking team out. But it is still 3rd down. It looks like our marker was incorrect. So 3rd down and 5, not 4th. Looking for the sidelines for instruction in an I formation.
They're changing the play here.
As they look to hand off, and he does, going right side. Tries to get away from a tackle. We have flags down. He's still on his feet. He breaks the tackle. He's at the 10, 5, and goes in for a touchdown. But it looks like it's going to come back with that flag right in the vicinity of holding.
Yeah, great effort there by Felton to slip through, but also picture perfect of what you can't do against this East Dragons team. A couple of different times there they went for shoulder tackles and didn't wrap up. And if the Griffins do that, they're going to get gashed for some big plays. But this one coming back on the hold.
A costly one, as they are not able to make do on what was a spectacular play. And now they're going to move back. It'll be 3rd down.
17 maybe?
And 15 is what's showing on the scoreboard, but it seems much
more
further than that. So we're going to go with 17 from our vantage point here.
Which is a good one.
Some confusion on who's supposed to be where as the play clock begins to run down. And he's still not sure where everybody's supposed to be. I think they're going to be moving towards a timeout here. And there it is. No doubt on that one. 3rd down and 17, and you need to get big yards. You're going to take a timeout. A lot of confusion on that play. Akron Public Schools offers the best and most affordable early learning and pre-kindergarten education in the area. Go to akronschools.com to learn more. Also, APS-IS wants to thank Swenson's Drive-In for their support of Akron schools and athletics, and certainly want to thank them for Joe and I's delicious meals that we always get there. One of the best places in Akron to get America's best cheeseburger, the Galley Boy, and they're open all year round. So even though you can think of it more of a summer place, you can still grab it and get America's best cheeseburger anytime.
3rd and about 17 here for the Dragons. As they come into this one 6-3 overall. The Griffins come in 5-4 overall. No playoffs this year for either team, so this is it. Somebody's going out a winner. And as we said, East trying to avenge last year's losses. They were heavy favorites last year and were upset by Buchtel in this game. A little more evenly matched this year. The Griffins hot as of late, but East probably even hotter.
Ball snap is dropped. He's going to throw up kind of a duck in the air and not able to hold on as he's tackled immediately. And he thought a little early Ttle McAllister was intended the receiver.
The only problem with that ball is I think Kamara, because of the snap, might even threw it without the seams, and it just hung in the air a little too long. McAllister got separation, and he got hands on it, but the defense arrived just in time. He didn't have a chance to tuck it away.
McAllister, even catching that ball, probably would have been 3 yards short of the 1st down. It makes a long 4th down situation from the 34-yard line, and they'll set up to kick this one away and pin them along the goal line. Still a lot of late subs coming in here so far in this first drive for the Dragons.
A lot of situations you'll see teams go for it, but this early in the game, they're going to try to pin and play that field position game.
Ball again, very high and over the head of the kicker. He collects it and
Great
does
play.
kick it away. It goes in and out of the hands of the Griffins, and they almost dropped it. Did they fumble it a second time? No, they did not. The Griffins will take over on their first possession on crazy plays keep happening all over, a lot of them with the center position for the Dragons.
High risk, low percentage play by Martavian Johnson, but he might have saved his team about 15 yards in doing that. And a great play on the other end by, was it Collins? Corey Collins that leaped up on that bad snap, and that avoided potential disaster on special teams for East.
Yeah, you certainly don't want 2 special teams fumbles to start.
For sure. Well, Griffin's going to take over, and you got to watch for their main man in the backfield, number 2, Marquell Cooke, who got banged up in last week's mud-filled game against Ellet, but he's out there right now.
And we talked a little bit before the game. So the original setup is that there would be regular season and then a championship game, but these 2 teams were already scheduled for the end of the year matchup and was already going to be decidedly another back-to-back game essentially for these 2, regardless of who won the regular season. With both of them out of the playoffs, this has moved the championship into the regular season, which hasn't been done in the past so far and how the current format is. But I like how, certainly concerned about player safety and trying to make more emphasis on this regular season game.
For sure.
Because what is it when we won last week, but now you win this week and you're the champion. Nope, the one-time matchup. And there goes here and a big hit in the backfield.
Yeah, you can rack that one for highlights right there.
A great job coming through is going to be Becht. Was it DeAnthony Becht that came through?
Yeah, and Tariq Williamson as well, who's obviously you see why he gets many looks at the D1 level. Oh, my goodness.
So Cooke, 2 carries and only 2 yards and positive yards going forward so far. And you can see certainly a big difference from last week where each time he carried the ball, it seemed like it was at least 10 yards or more on each carry. and he broke off a lot further out. Going to have a timeout as, again, a third down situation forces the Griffins to talk about things a little further with their team as to what they want to do.
Both teams in these third and long situations, not really where they find themselves their most comfortable. Deep in their own territory, they want to make sure they get the right play in here to try to move the sticks and not get negative yards, get pinned down even worse.
Yeah, I was able to talk with both coaches before the game, and we'll get to their interviews here in their second series offensively as we get to it. We want to let you know that the fine and performing arts programs are top-notch here at Akron Public Schools, the National Scholastic, the Gold Key Award, Silver Award winners, and much more. Come see the difference at akronschools.com.
National Scholastic, that fast five times.
Blah.
Third and 8.
Third down and 8, and just under 8 minutes here in the first quarter. And we've already had a lot of crazy plays going on so far. Fakes the handoff, and he's going to run and scramble to his right. Gets some space, has a first down,
cut.
Keeps going, and he's going to go down at the 48. So just like that, he takes off, and 20 yards are added.
Maybe some more added on to the end.
I don't know. It's certainly, I don't think he was sliding. I think he fell.
No, it's after the play. I don't know if it's face mask or.
So we'll look to see what that is, but that run was by their quarterback, Matavian Johnson.
It was a personal foul on Buchtel, but it is at the end of the run. So, again, you take away your first down, and you're basically going back to where you start. You're basically picking up 2 yards on that play.
An odd one. So it'll be third down and 8. So
yeah,
penalties,
maybe give him a yard, yeah.
Penalties playing into a factor a lot.
A great run, a couple of good blocks there.
Well, and made a great run out of a broken play. And not the one coming out of the timeout. So now you have to have another big play in here for this third down situation. Coach Powers, who is always calm and collective on the sideline, stays that way, but certainly not what he had drawn up to try and have a big play situation again on third down.
They're showing blitz.
Blitz comes after him hard. He's looking, has some time. He's going to throw it. It'd be completed for a first down, but it is incomplete, and that will bring the kick team out.
Yeah, actually a good ball by Johnson, but you can see they are spying on him, not wanting him to get outside with his legs. Good discipline and good coverage by the Dragons defense forces a punt.
And who is that? Who is the intended target over on the other side? Was that Collins or Taylor?
I think it was Gibbons.
Okay. I was looking at the wrong roster. Sorry, Gibbons on the intended target. Only the first passing attempt, and we saw what could happen poorly on a kicking team for the Dragons. Snap is better, not great, but he does get it cleanly and kicks a beautiful ball away. Going to be caught at the 37-yard line and brought back almost in stride to the right as he tries to get to the sideline and will go out at the 45 for a 20-yard return.
Excellent return by Marion Robinson, and if anything with that kick, it was just a little bit too low, and he was able to catch it on the run. East will take over. Good field position again for them after the Marion Robinson. Give them about 18 yards on that return, and they'll take over at the 42-yard line of the Griffins with their second possession.
So I had a chance to talk with Coach Hayes before the game about his team and so forth. We'll get to that after this play. Looking to fake the handoff, and they sell hard for it as he runs right side and will go out. Man, a 17-yard carry.
That was just a good read by Kamara because they took away Felton. Little read, like I said, little read run option there.
Here's a quick little blurb from Coach Hayes. We're trying to do it in between plays, but they're quick to come out.
Hurry up now.
Quick to come out of the huddle, so we'll try and catch it on the next one. First down and 10 from the 25. This time he hands off, goes left, and is taken down for no gain.
Key word is resilience. You know, being able to have a slow start to the season and battle back and still have the confidence to know that, hey, man, you're a really good team. We just had to hit our stride, and once we hit it, you know, it just keeps getting better every week. You know, just a tough team. You know, we're just excited for this game tonight, honestly.
Is there a player that you know our viewers on APSIS want to have them look out for that's really made strides this season and growing as a football player?
Oh, man, I think, you know what, I think you got to look for Bengali Kamara on defense today to really be flying around and making a lot of plays. And I think definitely you got to look for number one, Romeo Felt on offense today. You know, really getting those guys rolling on both sides of the ball. I think it's going to be imperative for those guys to play well today.
And as we have the interview by Coach Hayes, often he goes. He's often running as Richelle McAllister takes it to the house from, 25 out?
26 yards, yep. And the key was a great seal block on the right side. Number 54, LeVar Banks just sealed out there, did a great job. And one cut by McAllister, bounced it outside, and they couldn't catch him.
So not the player that he mentioned out there, but gets a touchdown. And the extra point is also good. So second possession, they get a TD here at 6:07 here in the first quarter by a 25-yard beautiful play for the run-in by McAllister for a touchdown.
So McAllister, who had the ball poked out on the third down reception try, makes up for it and then some with the touchdown run. And East is in business here. They didn't score off the turnover, but they kept field position in their favor, and with the second time they had the short field, they punch it in.
Well, I saw that while the audio was playing, Peter, that at any time, really, these teams can make the big play, and they do while we're talking with Coach Hayes. But that's just both sides of these two teams, just big playmakers all over. The speed could happen at any time. So
it'll determine whether this is a close game or who wins the game. We'll be able to circle the big plays 20 yards or more. And if either of these defenses can hold the other team, you know, just a couple of those, they're going to have the advantage.
Well, I think both coaches talked a little bit about kind of the hype that's around this game, and after that first possession kind of settling into playing football. And we see it here as another big return as he brings it back to the 45-yard line. And this is going to be a return of 30 yards.
Yep, Martavian Johnson. Not many times you see the quarterback there returning kicks, but you can see why they have him back there returning kicks.
Yeah, great job just looking to see where the defense is and how to make plays, where those seams are, where he can get some space.
Buchtel now with their best field position by far the first quarter here halfway through. Going to try to get things going and get back in this ball game. They get a nice start with their quarterback in the 30-yard return. Yeah,
and we'll get our first part of our interview with Coach Powers here in between plays of their second series. Starting in good field position on the 45. They spread out 4 wide. Johnson bringing motion to the bottom of your screen, fakes it, goes back to the right up top, and he'll have a gain of 5 and will be taken down as Cooke gets some.
Good run there by Cooke as he got going a little bit. It's kind of yardage on first down the Griffins looking for.
Looks like they got a lot of guys out on the field right now. Trying to do my counting in my head. Because the line doesn't come into the back huddle.
Yeah, that's something that we've seen in the last couple of weeks with the Griffs. They kind of let them know what they're doing up.
And he's in the shotgun there as Johnson looks for the ball. And hands this one off and goes up the center, and we'll have a gain of 11. This one a new runner again.
Nice job by Colin Roger there from the pulling guard, getting a little bit of a block to get things loose.
And was that Young as our runner?
Yeah, Kyrie Young. We haven't seen much of Kyrie, but a nice little run by him to
11-yard run for him gets him into East territory. And this time he's going to try and run outside and tackled. He'll get a gain of 3. And here's our interview with Coach Powers as we have a little pushing and so forth on the field.
Coach Powers, can you tell me a little bit about your thoughts of how the season's gone and kind of
young, but we've been close in every single game. Just a couple things here and there. If we can fix them, we wouldn't be just playing in the city championship, man. But you know what? We're good. We're gonna be all right. You know, we're young, and yeah, we're gonna be fine.
Is there a player in tonight's game that you think our viewers should kind of look for that's really developed this year from beginning to championship game now?
I could tell you that, man, but look at all of them. You'll see. The ones that would rise to the occasion, you'll see them. You'll see who they are.
I love Coach Power. The secret of who the big players are that have developed, and you see when there as they make a tackle, trying to move these chains and get that big play.
Yeah, got a couple, then lost a couple. And East kind of taking a page out of Buchtel's book, getting 8 and 9 in the box, and they are blitzing at will. Martavian Johnson with his second run in as many plays. Another 3rd and 10 here for the Griffins, and not much time to pass for Johnson.
So now 3rd down and 10 with under 3.5 here left in the first. He looks to pass, doesn't have time, rolls out to his right where he's dangerous from, trying to get another block, and will get stood up and only lose 2 yards. And that's right where you think possibly a holding call could be, but a good seal block there.
Yeah, DeAnthony Becht got there. They had a couple nice blocks, but great team pursuit by the Dragons as they're kind of keeping Martavian Johnson kind of hemmed in here. So he loses another 2 yards on that play. Nobody open downfield. He's looking to throw the ball. There's nobody open right now. And not much time to get guys open as they're sending guys freely.
Yeah, and that play, I think he had hoped to have a little more time, and then just a sea of red jerseys in front of him, and they'll go from what looked like to be a punt out into a regular formation. They're going for it on 4th and 12. He takes the ball, looks left, and flags are out.
False start. Now they're going to punt. I think they should have punted anyway, but.
At least a better formation than we saw the Cleveland Browns do, come out with the punt team, take the penalty, and then bring the offense back out.
Yeah, you said it right. It sounds like you said it wrong because it sounds like you don't
bring
know what
the
you're
offense
talking
out.
about,
Then, if you don't get it, you take the penalty and then kick it. But they're still going to.
Oh, heck, let's just go for it.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing on the sand lot there. Now we don't punt.
Sandlot, playing on Madden.
Street, yeah.
Again, a late substitution coming in for the Dragons. And this ball is good and kicked away. Coming to the right side is probably going to make it shorter. It does stay in. It's going to be picked up. I think he touched it at the 15. He picks it back up. He's coming back down to the bottom of the field for you, trying to get around and make some positive yards, and he's got some.
Gone.
Flags are down at the 25. He's running. The kicker's still in front of him, and he tries to make a play, and he's taken down for a second flag.
That one's not going to matter.
It would be a 99-yard return. And we have some players down at the 30-yard line clapping at one another, a holding at the 10-yard line. You just have one kicker that you have to block out. You had 2 guys there. Not that I think it's going to matter, but you take away what was a broken to a beautiful play
and I gotta
by
tell
penalties.
You, the flag, the guy that got taken out of the play had no chance of catching Marion Robinson. He's 15 yards away from the play. That's where instead of blowing up the guy, and I know it's a rivalry game, you got to get in his way. I mean, just get in his way. You don't have to get the pancake block or touchdown wiped off the board.
Holding is declined. The second holding they're going to take.
Yeah, I think they'll take the one that's 75 yards away from the other one. Literally.
Oh, well, it was going to be an exciting play, and you have to give him credit because he dropped the ball, turned around, running back towards the end zone to pick it up, and then comes all the way around the field.
2 fumbles now by the Dragons. I'm off on the punt and then the bad snap that could have been disastrous, and they've managed to
well, you could say this
escape
is
twice.
Disastrous because even if you had the second hold, you would be at the 20-yard line in the red zone, and now you find yourself on your own 15-yard line because of that holding penalty. And if you didn't have any hold, you'd have 6 points. Not so lucky on that part.
Well, 1st and 10 now. worst field position to start at their own 15.
Looking to hand off, and he does, going right side, nowhere to go on the carry. Felton gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're doing a good job on Felton so far. What's hurt him is the read option in Kamara, who we hardly have seen run very little in their last 2 games. Haven't needed him to run too much, but
looks to hand the ball off right side. Now 2nd and 10.
McAllister that time.
Yeah, and he got about 2 on that carry. And certainly this one has been one that will be one you want to watch. You can certainly like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our channel on YouTube to catch all your APS sports action. Go to akronschools.com. Facebook certainly. Twitter and YouTube is Akron Schools. Facebook is Akron Public Schools if you want to find all of our sports information on there. I formation now, 3rd down and 7. Motion coming to the bottom of your screen. Looks to hand the ball up the center, and he's got a wide open gap. He's got a 1st down for sure. He's going to be taken down at the 35-yard line. So a gain of 13. And that offensive line did a heck of a job in looking to come out with a no huddle. No, they're coming back into the huddle. It looked like they were originally just going to set right back up. But they're still out pretty quick now. 1st down and 10. Just a minute left here in the 1st quarter from the 35-yard line. Hands the ball off, bounces outside, has some space, and will get 4 yards on the carry.
Good open field tackle by Aaron Spooney coming up in run support.
Yeah, Spooney coming across, taking out the legs, tackling at the feet. And that probably is going to be our last play here of the 1st quarter.
Maybe one more.
Yeah, I can't tell whether they're going to be out speedy enough to run it or not.
They're certainly in no rush.
Yeah,
why would they be?
They should be able to run one. We got about 20 seconds left. Brings motion. And hands that ball right up the center.
They're just winning
and
up
it's a
front
big
right
play,
now.
And down he goes.
I mean, they're winning in a big way up front.
17-yard carry. And who was that? That was
McAllister again.
Okay.
3 carries, 46 yards in the touchdown. Great 1st quarter for McAllister, and that's going to be the end of it. After one, East dominating the line of scrimmage, and they got themselves up a touchdown.
Yeah, up 7-0 here at the end of the 1st quarter. As they'll switch sides, want to let you know that graduation rates are climbing at Akron Public Schools as they transform high school students by strengthening the connection of learning in the classroom with what students may pursue after graduation, making learning more meaningful. It starts at the college and career academies of Akron at akronschools.com. Also, APS-IS thanks the Crystal Clinic Orthopedic Center for quick care for their support of Akron schools and athletics. They take same-day appointments. Oh, we have a wrong. I look over here and something brought us down a little bit. Sorry. They have same-day appointments, walk-ins for any unexpected injuries. Open 7 days a week. The Crystal Clinic for Orthopedic Center and Quick Care. Check them out today. So another quarter in the books, 1 touchdown up, and certainly some positive runs here for the Dragons to end the 1st quarter.
Yeah, and Buchtel right now going to have to do a better job of getting penetration and getting off blocks, because that right now that is where they're getting beat, is up front on the line of scrimmage.
We'll have our continued coverage of our interviews with both coaches here in the 2nd quarter. Dave Schick, Joe Pukansky right here on APS-IS, bringing you the City Series Championship between the East Dragons and the Buchtel Griffins, as he gets no gain on that carry.
Yes, they heard what we were saying.
So after what has been a long season, these two teams certainly when we looked at them individually throughout the season, we felt that they were going to be right here in the championship.
Surprises. Yeah, no big surprises. The only thing these two teams wishes they could have got are one or two more non-league wins so they could be playing next week. They're going to get the encroachment on the Griffins.
And here's our next two questions that we talked with Coach Hayes from the Dragons about.
The two top teams here for the championship against Buchtel that you guys worked on trying to take away or trying to prepare yourself for what it's going to be like in tonight's game?
Well, you always, every week, though, leading up to any game that you're playing, you're trying to have competitive practices. You're trying to up the energy level because obviously you got to bring it to every game that you play. So you don't have that thing where, you're playing up to some competition, maybe playing down to some competition, just trying to have a steady level that you're trying to reach every week and go past that. I think both teams are going to come out here and be on some emotional highs. And, once that first honeymoon period of the first quarter clears, then it's going to be, okay, let's just play some football and see who's going to win it.
And then what did you tell your players that a City Series championship means to them?
It means absolutely everything. I think both teams are already out of the Week 11 playoff hunt, but, this is a huge game. We've been playing them very competitively over the past 4 and 5 years, and it's just growing each year.
Coach, good luck. Thank you.
So as Coach said, means everything, and I think he's right. After that first quarter, we're going to see these two teams settle in a little more. As we talked there, he had a 3-yard gain on the last play, now sets up 3rd down and 3 in the I formation, hands the ball going right up the center, and this spot is going to be critical. It looks about a yard short.
Yeah. Yep. He hit the hole hard, but the Buchtel defense was up for it there. Ricky Good again on the first contact, 4th and 1. And doesn't it just feel like you haven't seen Kamara throw it yet, and I'm not saying they're going to right now, but they're setting him up for something big here on play action. And he will throw it deep.
I have him for one more carry, so I matched yours, what you had there. I think I added no gain on there. They go for it on 4th down. He bounces it in.
No chance.
And you talked about that defensive line for the Griffins coming up big, and they do here.
They did.
Big push for them coming through the line, trying to get points on the board.
Ricky be good on that one. Again, that's not who I would have ran at, and he got off the ball quicker that time, and a great job by the Buchtel defense forcing the turnover on downs. They really needed that.
So they've had 3 possessions, a punt, a touchdown, and now a turnover on downs on a 4th and 1.
And I don't even think he got to the line of scrimmage there. So now the Griffins take over with a little bit of momentum from their defense.
Yeah, only their second possession here. I think, yeah.
There's a real good run on 1st down. Kyrie Young.
So they take over, after 2 punts.
They're only their second 1st down of the game, but they'll take it. And they got a little something with Young. 2 rushes for 23 yards. He's been their best runner so far.
Looking to set up 1st down. Hands the ball off again. Good stutter step to get through the line and gain 2 on there.
Tackle on the play by number 33, Cameron Cozy.
So 2-yard gain for Young. And interesting, and we had talked last week that they brought Cooke back out when he had turned his ankle, and we were surprised not knowing because, you kind of had to play East the next week, not knowing that it was going to be upgraded to the championship. And Marquell Cooke was hobbled a little bit. Seems to look well, but kind of using a lot of other pieces of the team as they give a pitch out to the right, and he'll lose 3 on this one.
Yeah, Tariq Williamson read it and went and got it. No chance there for Young.
And this is a play that usually we see them have success against other teams because they don't have that speed on the outside to seal it off. But the Dragons are just as quick and giving the Griffins here problems.
And they're let's face it, they're keying on Cooke too. I mean, and if you've watched the Griffins play it all this year, you would be keying on Cooke as well.
Considering most of the plays that we would call from up here have Cooke getting the ball almost every single time. I like how they're trying to use him in different ways than just the handoff. That little pitch, I think, usually has a great success rate, but they're just so fast coming from the outside. Third down and 14 as he rolls to his left, an oddity for him. Trying to look. It's hard to turn and throw. He gets it, but it's going to be incomplete at the knees for his intended target of I'm not sure.
He did all he could on that ball, but again, the pressure flushing him, not giving you a chance to set up or even throw on the same line he's running on, so kind of a throwaway there.
Hail the intended target.
There you go. Defenses have been pretty dominant so far.
Fourth down now and 14.
Somebody's going to have to try to hit one in there in the passing game. I'm surprised they've kept it so close to the vest and either not thrown a screen or gone deep.
And Buchtel, we saw, obviously last week, using that deep pass a couple times to really open up the run game, but not able to do it today. Good snap. Kick is away.
Oh, and they did not go to Robinson that time.
No.
There's a flag, so they might make him kick it again, although pretty good field position.
Yeah, at the 40-yard line is where they're going to list it at.
I'd make him kick it again. Something could go wrong with the snap.
Always. I think he wants to know what. Yeah, so holding. That's a big one.
Yeah, they're taking it back 10 yards, and why not?
And he really had a lot of time there, I thought, to kick the ball. It wasn't like you were saving a big play.
You're saying why you hold there?
Why hold? Yeah.
I don't know. The Browns seemingly in the last few years, not the thing is, as many penalties they have, the only thing they're not getting penalized very much on is special teams.
Yeah.
And they would get penalized every kick. Legal block in the back. Let's start at the 10-yard line. They're getting penalized for false starts by receivers, which is ludicrous.
Yes. False start by receivers.
Ridiculous.
Holding by receivers. A lot of push-offs.
Lack of discipline.
Yeah. For how great the receiving core is, why do you have to push off? You got so much speed.
They have not been great.
All right, well.
They've not even been good.
Fourth down and 24. The scoreboard doesn't even know how many it is. It took down the downage.
I said
distance.
forget that.
Fourth
it out
down
after
and
the
24. Yeah, because they don't want to put up far. Fourth down and a ways.
What is that? What are those lines for?
I don't know. Kick this one away. This one to the left side.
Boomer.
Caught at the 40-yard line. And a pitch going around the other way, but they messed it up.
Kept it. Oh.
He still makes it through, and there's the flags all over.
This is going to be the second return.
Again in front of the
great job by
punter
West.
as he takes him down at the 19-yard line. 2 flags are down, but they look to have a pitch, but 2 players were almost there running the same direction and made him slow down, but he still makes what is a beautiful return of 50 yards. But now it's going to come down to a penalty again. And there were 2 flags all over it.
Yep.
Block in the back.
They might be better just a fair catch at this point. So they're getting their hopes up.
The fair catch would have got you to the 40. After this, you're going to be, is that a 10-yard or 15? I think it's 15. I can't remember. No, 10. So you would have got it at the 40. You're going to start at the 36.
Oh, well. Peter's like, there's a highlight. Nope, not a highlight. It's happened like 3 times. So Dragons have only been penalized 3 times, but they've all been on big plays, so very costly.
And none of them, I don't think, broke the play open. It has a completed pass, but it really didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, they're going short side of the field, and there's just not enough room to operate there. Corey Collins.
completed the pass, but
Negative
lost
1
a yard. Well, he's 1 out of 2 passing, though.
For a -1. It happens.
Yeah, I guess. 7:16 left here in the second quarter. 7-0 your score. Dragons leading the Griffins. And flags again. False start by the offense.
We can sense your frustration. 7:14 left in the second quarter.
Hey, the good news is, Joe, is you can just watch the highlights on our YouTube channel. You can just go to akronschools.com. You don't have to watch any of the penalties. You just watch highlights. Couple minutes, all the big plays, get you caught up, ready.
They'll clean it up because it's a rivalry game. Excited, couple little overzealous penalties here, but they'll settle it down. At halftime, they'll get these guys. Well, they might do it right now because they're going to call timeout.
7:14, they take a timeout. 7-0 lead. Dragons over Griffins here. Web-based learning with APS Online helps students who prefer learning in a non-traditional school setting. Akron Public Schools and APS Online. Find out more about your choices at akronschools.com. APS IS thanks Alco for their support of Akron schools and athletics. Alco Solutions for a cleaner environment as the best janitorial equipment supplier in Akron. Check them out at Alco. So one that has gone back and forth here so far in this game. We've seen kind of the biggest defender of the Dragons has been themselves. 2 big plays, one for a touchdown and one for a huge return.
Yep.
Not able to make them happen because the flags bring them back even further. And this now, 2nd down and 16. As they set up 4 wide. Motion coming to the top of your screen is McAllister. He's flushed out of the pocket, tries to make something happen, and throws it at the feet of his offensive lineman.
They
talked about it. Yeah, they talked about where it went, but an incomplete pass.
No harm, no grounding.
Yeah, both of these quarterbacks tough to go to the other side and
not really getting a chance.
Roll to the left.
Not really getting a chance to step into their throws, are they?
We have an injury on the field. While we have that, we'll listen to Coach Powers talk about his team when we interviewed him before the game.
Is there something that East does specifically that you guys have kind of worked on this week to try to take away from them or kind of prepare yourself for today's game?
They like to get to your edges. They're fast just like we are, and that's just going to be a track meet. You know what I mean? So we're going to try to stop them from getting to our edges, man, and we should be all right.
And City Series Championship, I know you've had some before in the past. You've been on games. What do you tell your players that it means for them?
Oh man, it's a start, man. It's of course you want to be the best in your league. That's number one. But the second thing is you could build off of that for next year also, man. So it's a big deal.
So talking with Coach Powers before the game while we had the injury timeout. One of the few coaches that has won a City Series championship as a player and a coach.
Yeah. And let's take this time to give credit to the scheduling gurus for scheduling this game week 10. Nice job by them. That's the one bad thing. They say what a great rivalry Texas and Oklahoma is, but the nice thing about it is, the bad thing about it is it's so early in the season. Now they're going to go deep. Oh, he's got a man.
Right in and out of the hands.
And Kamara throws a great deep ball. Nice adjustment there also by number 4, Deshaun Jones, but kind of just over the wrong shoulder. Just couldn't pull it down, but did get a hand on it.
As he tries to go big for it on 3rd down and 16.
Yeah. Let's give credit to this Buchtel defense because I think if they get down a couple of scores, they could be in trouble. But if they stay in this game down 1 score, it only takes that one big play, and they're right back in it.
Yeah, I think they're coming in to make a play special teams wise, they've been able to put a lot of pressure on the Dragons.
Yeah, do you set up a return here or do you go after the punter?
I think they want to come after the punter, given that the center has been the issue, and it's not the punter, but getting the ball to him has been the problem so far as they line up extra. Ball is, again, high snapped, kicked very low, but good rotation on it.
Helicopter.
Going to be taken down. Oh, he gets out of it. Returned at the 38, tries to go back to the sideline, and will go out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Really a good decision to not go the other way. And they're grabbing Johnson, telling him.
Yeah, I think he hung out too long on the sidelines because the coaching staff down there kind of ushered him back out of there.
One thing, if I could give the youngster a piece of advice, if I'm going to run my mouth, I'm going to do it while I'm running away from their sidelines or while I'm on my sidelines.
I think I'd run it after
safety in numbers.
After I'm running back out of the end zone for a touchdown. That's when I run my mouth.
Yeah.
After I know I already did something good and they can't take it away.
Yeah, I'm not running my mouth on it when I get sacked.
And they're all on the sideline here.
Yeah, they're just not going to huddle. They're going to go right to the line of scrimmage. We'll see if Buchtel maybe tries to air it out here in this possession. They've tried 2 passes, both incomplete.
So just their 4th possession. They had 3 punts.
Split backs this time.
As Johnson takes a pause, hands the ball off, and he'll break 1 tackle for a hard-working 2 yards, just Young.
But you said it right there. These backs not getting a chance. They're having to break tackles in the backfield. Marquell Cooke, when he's had his big games, he's been downhill into that 2nd level before he's absorbed any contact. And then he's really hard to bring down. If you can get him or Young before they're going full speed, you got a much better chance at success, and that's what East has been doing so far.
Down 1 score. This pitch to the left side we saw earlier to the right. This time breaks the tackle, will get positive yards, but only 4 on the carry. And we're kind of getting to that lull here in the 2nd quarter. You can see kind of both teams have used a lot of the adrenaline, and now it's slowing down a little bit.
Big 3rd down here, 3rd and 4. Watch for maybe a hard count. Try to draw the Dragons offside right around midfield. This is a point where you'd like to get a 1st down and have 3 more cracks at it.
And we're going to have a timeout by the Griffins, as it looks like they were not lined up properly for this play. Connecting community to the classroom, Akron Public Schools has hundreds of businesses, organizations, and foundations supporting its students and families each and every day. Also, dual degrees are an efficient and affordable way to get your high school diploma and 2 years of college under your belt all at one time. The Akron Early College, High School, and dual degree learning only at Akron Public Schools. Your future starts now at akronschools.com. APS also thanks Kohl's Garage Incorporated for their support of Akron schools and athletics. Kohl's Garage, providing comprehensive auto repair at affordable prices to get you back on the road. They've been around for the last 40 years. So 5:13 left here in the 2nd quarter. The Dragons find themselves only up 1 touchdown, 7-0, as they've had a lot of big plays but have not been able to capitalize by making them count, as now they need to make a big play here. 3rd down and 4 here at midfield. Johnson rolls to his right. Looks like he's going to keep it this entire time. Tries to split through and does not. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and more importantly, no flags are down.
Great tackle by number 6, Marvin. D'Anthony Becht again coming up. No gainer for Johnson.
4th down and 5.
Got a punt.
And a Buchtel offense that we saw take care of business and score all over the place last week against the Ellet Orangemen. Now against.
And you'll say they're being pretty conservative, but that's partly the respect that they have for all of the talent in this defensive secondary and linebacking core for the Dragons.
So they look up to kick this one away. The Griffins, much better success protecting the punting game. This ball, though, rolls onto the turf. He has to pick it up, and he's going to try and make a play, and he'll go down at the 38-yard line. And as if I cursed them by saying they did a great job protecting it, the protection was there, but the ball didn't get there.
No, that was like a four-hopper. You know what happens? It looked like the snapper just maybe cold, didn't get it up off the ground.
Yeah.
Like Duff did a little bit. And I thought maybe if Wes could have kicked it right away, he might have been able to get it off. But I think because it was took so long to get back to him.
Yeah, and that's it's one of those things where I know the players like to have the gloves, especially on the line, all over with the skill players. But there's just something about holding it in your hand that helps out. I don't know. I only wore one glove. I couldn't do the two gloves because I just have to touch the ball. As he comes left side, tries to spin out of it. He'll gain 2 yards. Does Felton on the carry. No.
That was Bechten.
Bechten, sorry.
Yeah, big hits down there by the Buchtel defense. And one thing we haven't mentioned is the sheer cold. This has been definitely our coldest game of the year as we hit November.
Yeah, and there really hasn't been even a practice day that they've had this kind of cold weather. Snow in parts of northeast Ohio today, as well as earlier yesterday.
Full house backfield.
Quick handoff. And yeah, I was going to say, it looked like the ball came out. He did fumble it.
I don't think to me, it looked like he didn't know he was getting it. He never got it in the pocket.
So Kamara kind of picks up 2 yards on picking up the fumble and falling forward. 3rd down and 8 now. 3:05 left here in the first half.
Both offenses scuffling right now.
Well, it's something to be said. Both of these teams have flown through the City Series, so playing those games isn't what a true kind of equal match is. As he's going to roll left, now tries to roll back right. Doesn't have a blocker in front of him, tries to stiff arm, and will lose 4.
So essentially they run the same play out of a different formation that Buchtel runs on 3rd down. Success negative for both. Both teams really hesitant to throw the football right now.
Well, I think that goes back to the cold itself.
And the fact is, no one wants to make a big turnover because East, again, they're up a touchdown. Their defense has not given up a point in a month. In Buchtel, to be honest, with the struggles they've had, they'll be happy to be down 1 score here. With the field position that they've started out, you think they're going to air it out from deep in their own territory again? They're going to try to pop a run if they can. I would come after the punt, though, is what I would do.
On both sides. That's been the shakiest part. It's been a lackluster of offense. We're going to have a timeout as well, and we do, because both teams have had problems getting their correct personnel out there.
Yeah, they only had 10 out there.
All right, the International Baccalaureate Program, or IB, is integrated now into many of the Akron public schools for accelerated and more challenging learning. Go to akronschools.com to find out more about that. APS-IS also thanks Ritchie's Sporting Goods for their support of Akron schools and athletics. Ritchie's Sporting Goods offering a wide variety of school spirit items, embroidery, corporate apparel, and trophies. Check them out for your next event. So what we thought could be a highlight reel all over, it's been pretty even both sides as we find ourselves under 2 minutes in a 1-score ball game here at Infocision Stadium, Suma Field. Dave Schick, Joe Pukansky, Akron IS, Information Station. This is a close game. That's the information brought to you today by Dave and Joe. Snap is good finally and kicks this one away, even though he took some time. It's going to come hard, and he's trying to keep it out of the end zone, but he can't do it.
Nice try.
That was a knuckleball coming out of there. Supposed to be supposed to be higher, but he kind of took his time and just punched it forward. And that one will be for a touchback, and they'll come out from there.
And Buchtel's got to feel, for a team that has about 20 yards of total offense, they got to feel a lot better about having a little bit of room to operate here.
Yeah, but most kickers, they try to get it up high.
They kind of punched that. Looked like he took a little,
It was like
little
a
half
rugby
swing
kick.
on a wedge. Yeah,
Like a little rugby kick.
it just shot off that turf. If it would have died, it would have been perfect.
They almost left the wide receiver at the top of your screen wide open. And that's right where the run's going as well, as Cooke goes that direction and gains 5 yards.
Yeah, Cooke, good run, but he can't get rid of Bengali Kamara, who brings him down.
And really, I think it shows the speed that the Dragons have, that when you saw him play the other broadcast that we did on the station, he would just take off, and there was no catching him. And now he doesn't have that separation today, whether it's – and I think it's the defensive side that's so much quicker in planning for him.
He'd juke in and then one cut out, one little bounce outside and circle the field, and we've seen him be untouched, be gone several times this year. Not with the team pursuit of this defense, and what now?
I don't know what our referee's coming over for.
I'll try to lip read.
Well, they're pointing up to us, Joe.
What's up?
He's pointing to you. Pointing up to the scoreboard. He's pointing to Joe. He's pointing
Just
to Joe.
give us the one what?
It says we want Joe removed from the facilities. Right? Isn't that what he said, Peter?
Fast, my friend.
I don't know what they're saying. Is there like a clock or light that's on? Oh, maybe is that play clock that's over there? No, they want the time change. 1:18 is what's up there.
Or they said forget it.
Play on. I'm surprised they didn't quick snap that right away. Kind of everybody's setting in.
I wasn't ready for it.
Snaps to him, looks.
Change at quarterback
Yeah.
here.
And does a little running on his own, and he'll gain 9. He's got a first down.
Yeah.
Who's our quarterback?
They went with Devin Bracey, who I've seen in there other times, and Bracey kind of tucks it and goes and gets a nice gainer.
Bracey, the senior, listed at 5'11", 170 pounds. Gain of 11 sets up first down. And we're at 56 seconds.
And a false start.
Oy.
They've been watching too many Browns games. Success? No, we got to go back.
Not sure why you're taking out Kamara. Or you're just moving him somewhere else. Yeah, he's down at the bottom of your screen, lined up as a wide receiver. So what you lose from him throwing, you gain from him running at the wide receiver position. They hand the ball off inside. Good stutter step and spin for 6 yards. And that's by...
Except the problem is they only got one timeout, so they got to go. And running that play, you're only going to have time to maybe get one more off. No, they're going to get one off and maybe use a timeout. Maybe not now.
12 seconds left. They're still looking.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Kind of faked us out on that one, but that'll do it for the first half as we're at triple zeros on the scoreboard. 7-0 your score as the Dragons lead the Griffins here on APSIS. Joe and I will be back for the second half action. We'll take a break over halftime and get your second half stats here on APSIS. Ready to start the second half of action here as the Dragons ready to receive. Joe, as our first half of stats.
Pretty even on the plays, but total yards for the Dragons 108, only 35 total yards all on the ground for the Buchtel Griffins. 5 penalties, 40 yards. Everything else is pretty even. 4 penalties, 35 yards. The one early turnover that didn't hurt, but flipped field position. And then the only damage so far, that big run in the first quarter, Rochelle McAllister from 26 yards out. But East will get the ball trying to add to that one-score lead. We'll see who made the halftime adjustments.
Big hop collects it at the 15-yard line, tries to come left side. He's going to have a good return and go out at the 35-yard line, a return of 20.
And Deshaun Jones on the return. He had a lane, he got it, but good pursuit by the Griffins defense.
And coming out for East, changing what we had on our roster, quarterback is going to be George Rozier. So he is their quarterback coming in, is listed at number 9. And then the other change was Bengali Kamara is number 21. So we'll try and get that corrected here in the second half as our staff up here let us know incorrectly we had those roster changes that came in, roster number changes. Surprising, Joe, that you had so few passing yards as now the first play goes for a pass. It's going to be caught. Out to the right side, a gain of 6.
Now, do we call that a pass or do we call that that's definitely a lateral?
Yeah, I think it was a run.
It's called a run? Yeah. We want to keep the passing yards.
I mean, it was a passing throw to get it there by Rozier, but not a passing play per se. And that went to...
Problematically, I find myself agreeing with you today.
That went to Robinson?
That went to Felton.
Felton, okay. So a run of 7.
Only 7 total first downs in the first half.
And Rozier brings it up and will be back to the line of scrimmage. Gets a nice spot. That's a good yard ahead of where he really stopped, it looked like.
Ricky Good has played the role of run stopper today quite well.
A role he knows well, run stopper.
Been all right with it.
So sets up 3rd down and short, 3rd and 3. Coming off for the Dragons is Kobe Campbell. Top of your screen is Amirian Robinson in that slot position on the top of your screen. Rozier has it, hands off, goes up, trying to turn, and the spot's going to be short by about a yard for.
That was Felton again. Nice job by Armand Hale coming up for the Griffins. 4th and about a yard, but in this situation.
Wow, this could be a big momentum shift. The offense stays out there. They think they can get this one in Buchtel in their own territory near midfield.
Watch out for a hard count here.
Yeah, 2 minutes into this quarter, we're going for it on 4th down and 1.
Last time they snuck, they got stuffed.
Hard count you saw, didn't go over.
I don't think they're running a play. I think they're going to try to draw them offside.
And there it is. Joe correctly sees what's going on and gets it correct.
And I'll tell you, they're about an inch away from getting it because they got him to jump. He just didn't go into the neutral zone.
During the time, I want to let you know the fine arts are alive and well at Akron Public Schools. There are 3 facilities, the Miller South School, the Firestone Community Learning Center, and the Akron School for Arts. All offer award-winning programs to include a commitment to sequential arts courses designed to develop advanced skills in specific arts and focus. Learn more at akronschools.com. Also, APSIS thanks the Carmen Studio Photography Incorporation for their support of Akron Schools and Athletic. Carmen Studio Photography, a full-service professional photography studio servicing Northeast Ohio for over 50 years. Snap is in the hands and kicked away. Probably the best one that the Dragons have had so far. And it takes a great
even
bounce.
Better. Let it go.
And they're going to down this at the 8-yard line. A beautiful kick, though.
And that's why the great Jim Tressel said the most important play in football, the punt. What one play besides a touch, a run or a pass can flip the field like that?
And gets them deep into Buchtel territory. Buchtel, though, hasn't
50-yard punt
really gone backwards on a lot of their plays. So certainly not where we've been in other instances where the offense has been moving backwards and you could potentially get a safety, they've moved forward pretty well, and they kind of bring extra protection there for the quarterback on this first play. 1st and 10 from the 8. They hand the ball off, looking left side. Stutter steps, comes inside, gains 2, and takes out the flag and heads towards the cement wall.
That
should be a flag.
That
he took them all the way.
I don't
to
like
the
when you throw flags, but when it got to be about 6 yards and he was still riding them out of bounds, I think maybe a little excessive.
He took them all the way to the cement wall, and he came back out. So no flag thrown there. Gain of 2 for Young on the run. Gives him a little more breathing room to the 10-yard line.
Buchtel's biggest play so far, 12 yards in the ball game.
Those are things that don't go together. Biggest play, only that amount for the Griffins. Looking to run the ball right side, breaks through the center, spins into the secondary at the 30, 35, 40, and goes out of bounds. Midfield takes off.
What I meant to say was
for 39 yards.
Yeah, what I meant to say was their biggest play was now.
It is.
Cooke finally got loose. Only 5 yards on 6 carries in the first half, but 39 in the biggest play of the night for the Griffins.
Big play there. It sets him up to midfield now as Cooke finally gets going. Only his first run. The Dragons coming out of their huddle very slow, but make up for it and limit the penetration there of the Griffins' running drive. But personnel-wise, they just don't seem sharp. Players coming on the field late. They came out of their huddle late. They weren't in position. If they had run to the right side of the ball, those players were completely out of position. You would have had a much easier time and bigger gain, I think, there.
Official timeout here after a gain of about 2. Yeah, you're right. They are running left quite a bit. I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
maybe. Nope, they're going over to that sideline now. He's explaining something to Coach Powers.
Coach Powers is giving the hand gesture to one of his assistant coaches. I'm not sure about what.
They made the quarterback change in the second quarter. Went Johnson back to wideout and moved Bracey back in at quarterback.
Oh, you're right.
And they've stayed with that here to start the second half.
So Bracey, as you said, at quarterback, catches a high snap, hands the ball off to Young. Young going left side again. Will gain 3, and now a quick flag as they go into the huddle. And players come back out, but Dragon players into the main team area for the Griffins, and them clapping as if there's a personal foul penalty. Face mask.
That would explain it.
3-yard gain, and more importantly, 15-yard penalty.
The Griffins making a couple adjustments at halftime and staying true to their running game. For East, that's their 5th penalty of the ball game for 50 yards. And Buchtel by far now with their best field position of the night.
As they get things moving. Hands the ball off to Young. Young's just got that big stride. You can see it coming through. It feels like he could go left or right. You're just not sure where. Gains 4 on the carry. You don't know if he's going to burst out to the right side off that stutter step, keep going straight like we saw there, or bounce it outside again to the left.
And this is the first we've seen of him. He's been out in our previous telecast, so a nice option to have both him and Cooke to go to, because before it was lean on Cooke quite heavily. Only other guy that we would run it is Jameis Portis, but he is more of a between the tackles, straight at you type of back.
Bracey hands the ball off to Cooke, tries to go inside, no gain on his carry.
Cooke, the ball carrier.
He's actually going to lose a couple, it looks like. Another 3rd and long.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
A battle of these two lines have been pretty back and forth. They've had some successes here or there, but just not able to get outside.
Yep.
The outside help defensively on both sides has been stellar. And at times, the inside has been able to blow up, and sometimes they've gotten blown up. They split out a little further with Hollisht looking right side, fades to the left, has a man there, stumbles and is sacked in the backfield. A big play as he comes across, and that's Kamara with the big sack.
And I thought he was going to get punished for not wrapping up, but it didn't matter because he just steamrolled. So big loss for Bracey. Loses about 7 on the play. And a big step up by one of the guys that Coach Hayes mentioned was going to be big in this ball game.
And I don't like rolling out to the left on either side because they're not able to throw. They'd have to set and try to regain their balance to make that throw.
It seems like
allow them to roll to the right
from us all day, right?
I guess so.
What is going on?
Probably because Peter's yelling when he's the cameraman. He's got his window open. He's yelling down. They want to get away from him.
He's like, throw the football. I need some highlights.
A high kick here, and he's not going to even fair catch it or try to catch. And he'll let them down at the 15-yard line from there.
In both
they'll take over.
Both these games, and talent and conditions are dictating, but they're playing it pretty close to the vest. They know what a big flip play turnover could be in this game. So that and good defense is why you're seeing so many punts today.
And certainly at the end of today's ball game, we'll have our APS Information Station Player of the Game. Joe and I will go through. Right now, still undecided. There hasn't been a standout play or player. The score is close, and you don't see that decision
we haven't
made,
seen it yet,
certainly.
I don't think.
But we'll have our information player of the game coming up later. Motion coming as Collins moves to the top of your screen. They hand the ball off. He goes through, spins back out, can't get and regain his balance. He goes down. And they'll put him at a loss of 1 yard.
And I think for Felton in this game, it seems like he's trying to get outside instead of maybe trying to get 4 or 5 there on first down, which I thought he could have get if he would have went straight up the gut. Felton, that's his 10th carry.
Yeah, 10th carry.
37 yards overall.
He's at least getting the touches. You look on the other side, Cooke only had the first half with 6 carries, now up to 9, but both teams want to get their playmakers involved. Looking to pass now, has some time, rolls to his left, goes back to his right near the end zone line, has some time trying to get around the corner, and he will not have it. And he'll go down for a loss of 2.
There's just nobody stretching the field or able to stretch the field by throwing it. Rozier now, that's his 7th carry.
Yeah, well, he really needed to make that decision right away. And there's nothing there. Great defensive coverage by the backs of the Griffins. 5:09 left here in the third quarter.
It seems like everybody's trying to get outside, and I think if anybody's going to pop one, I think it's going to be up the middle or over the middle in the pass game. Something, everybody, neither one of these teams are going to outrun each other. There's just too much team speed out there.
Setting up 4 wide for a potential pass play. Rozier, hands the ball off, runs
up the middle. I tell you.
Has some space, first down and more at the 40-yard line and out at the 42.
Now Felton bounced it, but not until he got to that second level.
36-yard run for Felton. And like you said, on cue, going up the middle. Spread them out wide and run up the middle.
And they had success with that early when they did that, and then they ran the quarterback on the quarterback draw.
I was getting a bit worried being so close to the end zone trying to punt if they weren't able to convert there.
That's a big conversion. Even if they stall out here, it's going to take a couple of minutes off the clock, and it gives them breathing room.
Well, and they haven't been able to hike the ball very well, and that could have been an issue. But now they have plenty of space. Tucks inside. Great tackle.
Yep.
As he's able to take him down as Aaron Spooney.
Not the blow-up hit, but just getting lower than the ball carrier, taking his legs out.
Yeah, Rozier.
Somebody's down.
Yeah, we're still down here. Did not move our marker, so.
And that might be Spooney, and he looks like he's out. Nope, he's moving. Oh, nope, he's up. How about that?
Well, yeah,
enough that Coach Powers came out, and
right.
he's like looking at the trainer. He's like, what?
I was just, I was just trying to.
Could have been wind.
I was trying to listen for the crowd. Like,
could have been wind.
APS IS thanks Leonardo's Pizza and Chicken in Ellett for their support of Akron schools and athletics. I think that's what he got up for. Some Leonardo's Pizza and Chicken. That's probably what it was. Where delicious pizza is still made on the stone oven. Get your slice today at Leonardo's.
That's on cue. He's down.
And
he was
he's
out. He was spread. Looked like my son out there. He gets.
I say that a lot when I watch my son. Oh, he exaggerates a lot.
Oh my gosh!
I tell officials that he
meant to play soccer.
He exaggerates.
He's a flopper. He's a flopper.
Goes to him, reverses around. Great seal, but he gets around outside trying to get through there. Can't get his feet. Met right at the line of scrimmage and tackled. Romeo Felton takes away a big play, and there's a flag for being too excited.
Whoa.
And there's this could be a second one as the taunting goes on.
I don't know why that flag went that far. Wasn't the flag right there? Maybe sideline warning.
No, that's definitely taunting.
On
Felton.
You mean Johnson, Martavian Johnson. He's been.
Yes, sorry. Martavian, you're right. I looked at the wrong sheet.
He's been close to one today already.
Johnson came in. He made a fantastic solo tackle right at the line of scrimmage. But then as he gets back up, he started taunting the other team right on their sideline.
He called it. And didn't we say he was close to one earlier today?
Yes.
And
that's a big one.
A great play negated by a mental mistake there.
Yeah, because it would have been 3rd down and 6.
And now it's 1st down.
1st down in your own territory. And that's the thing. You made the big play. And we talked about that when we would talk the talk is after you walk the walk, but you can't do it right in his face by the official.
You got to do it subtly. And
you do it while you're walking away like Joe said he would.
You do it so nobody else knows.
Yeah.
And then you get the reaction from the other guy if you got to do it. And you can't do it against a team that is – you're the underdog in this game. You can't give a good team opportunities.
Wow, great run inside for 5 yards.
Ball loose, but I think it's going to be called down.
Yeah.
Felton again squeezes through for a nice gain on 1st down.
His 12th carry. But, yeah, that's a tough one.
Felton now up to 72 yards. So he's kind of been the workhorse.
Again, spreading them out 4 wide. Rozier gets the ball, hands it off. Hey, guess who? Felton. It's going to gain 2.
I think maybe a screen out there. They only have 2 guys out, and they have 3 receivers out there. You got numbers on the outside, but.
Well, and you can see he just said that. Corey Collins just yelled back to Rozier that there's nobody even on him. They're not marking me up.
They're not respecting it, yeah.
Why are we running the ball? I don't disagree that Felton should be getting the ball, but make them come out. Now they do as they bring Hale out on him.
That's going to be on our wideout here on Rachel McAllister. Just a little flinch. I saw it, and if I saw it, they definitely saw it. So a costly penalty. A lot of plays on 3rd and 3 in the playbook. 3rd and 8, it gets a lot thinner.
Call timeout? I think he did.
Nope.
It looked like it, but I guess not. 2:35 because the clock's running. 3rd down and 8.
If it wasn't for that 40-minute Super Bowl halftime, this game would be flying by.
Motion coming at the bottom of your screen now. Looks, has time, throws. Two guys open, one catches it, and he goes down at the 20-yard line.
Big third down
18-yard catch. Rozier finally gets something in the air for his first completion. Going to Corey Collins. His second catch. First one went negative yards.
That's a big third down conversion.
And he had two guys open in that space. It was just a question on who was going to step up to catch it now as we reach the 2-minute mark. They like this formation to spread them out. They crouch in to take the run away, and Felton comes through, breaks a tackle, gets a monkey on his back but can't get it off. As Spooney goes for a ride. It's going to be a gain of 4. And this looking to be probably the prettiest drive we had since the first quarter when they were able to get a touchdown, where McAllister went for a 25-yard run while I was playing an interview as Peter reminded me over halftime. This is why we front load all the interviews, because big drives here in the second half. Minute 14 here in the third quarter. And they're looking to get some more points on the board. To his right is going to be Felton. Rozier takes it, and he's going to run up the middle, finds his hole, and has a first down as he gets 8. Griffin's getting excited. They're in the 10, under the 10. Oh, okay. Wow, why do you have to measure? I thought they were going to measure for a second.
No.
And quickly, Buchtel's now doesn't know what to do. They have a man on the wrong side. Am I supposed to go out? Am I supposed to stay in? Yeah, they're going to call timeout. I think they had too many. 2, 4, 6,
Buchtel
8,
calls it.
10. Yeah, they had 12 men on the field, so they take a timeout to save themselves the penalty. 7-0 your score here in the third quarter. Akron Public Schools nutritional specialists create more than 32,000 meals every day for their 21,000 students, and they are all free. Research shows that improved nutrition has the potential to positively influence students' academic performance, and that is why it is important to students of the Akron Public Schools. Learn more about this at akronschools.com. Also, APS-IS wants to thank BSN Sports for their support of Akron Schools and Athletics. Shop BSN Sports for their large selection of school sports apparel, footwear, and sports equipment. Check them out, BSN Sports. And certainly we want you to always know that you can come to APS-IS for all your information, the information station, as you can check out our YouTube page, Facebook, and Twitter. Go to Akron Schools for Twitter and YouTube to check out highlights and full game coverage. As he looks to hand off and keep it himself, he runs right side and in for a touchdown for 10 yards out. He gets that one to go through, and the running Rozier takes it in from the 8 for a touchdown.
Again, off the play fake there, and he broke one tackle in a big drive, and a great job, Rozier, doing it with his feet, but also with the big third down conversion, only the second pass he completed. But a big job by Rozier there, doing the job and getting it done by the senior.
Yeah, so with 39 seconds left, they get a touchdown, take this one up to a 2-score difference. And still celebrating, as we're not sure whether they're going to kick forward or try to get 2 points. And a big celebration by Sean Gates by the Dragons as he comes to the sideline. He's saying something. Either something happened out there. I don't know. I don't know if they're upset that he was still out there or something else is going on. But they're still talking with him on the sideline. He's got his helmet off, talking with one of the coaches. Usually you don't have a frustration when you get a touchdown. Gates, one of the defensive backs,
Kamara in to attempt the extra point.
As he looks to set up this extra point. Already made one earlier today. Snap is high, it's down, kick is away, and it is good, and they take themselves with a lead, 14-0 here in the third quarter against the Griffins, and they get a little more breathing room, getting a 2-score lead now.
So they leaned on their backfield. Felton and Rozier doing the damage there. Felton has ran it for 74 yards on 13 carries. Rozier 56 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. McAllister's also ran it for 40 yards, so it hasn't been a work of art, but it's been a grinded out win. And oh, by the way, this East defense now is going on for 8, 12, 16, 19 straight quarters without allowing a point.
That's why
there's your player of the game.
And still Coach Hayes talking with Rogers.
And I mean, I'm telling you, this East team is one more non-conference win away from having the potential to make a pretty good playoff run. Just that's kind of the way it works.
Well, in Buchtel started where they started scheduling tougher out-of-conference opponents for the reason of getting into the playoffs, because some of the teams obviously in the City Series don't give them enough points to get in.
Right.
And the problem is if you play those teams and you don't get any wins, then
you don't get those secondary points when they beat somebody.
Correct, yeah. Kick kind of squabbles and spins and stays in.
That was almost perfect. Actually, a nice job.
It was spinning back around and would have been a live ball. A weird spin that was on it when he kicked it, but it's going to be down at the 40-yard line. Looks like they're going to come back a little bit at the 38. But you thought it was just going to roll right out, and then it starts spinning back into play, and that was a live ball. They would have been able to pick it up. So he dives for it and dives out of bounds with it. So time for about one play here in the third.
And the Griffins don't have to get pass happy, but they got to be quick and efficient here, now down 2 scores.
And this City Series football game brought to you by APSIS, your Akron Public Schools information station. And they are confused on what they're going to run, so they'll take a timeout here with 39 seconds left to talk it over. Field of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, learning at Akron Public Schools is woven throughout the entire curriculum, and their STEM schools are among the best in Ohio. Learn more by going to akronschools.com. APSIS also thanks the Eckerd Baldwin Funeral Home and Chapel for their support of Akron schools and athletics. Eckerd Baldwin Funeral Home and Chapel. During hard times, during a death, they promise to be there for you in your time of need. Whether it's traditional services or other cremation options, think Baldwin Funeral Home and Chapel. So they come back out after having some confusion, and they'll be able to get about one play off and then be able to kind of re-huddle in between quarters to regroup. Still, you're going to have Bracey in the backfield. He's joined this time with Young. Motion coming down, and it's bobbled and fumbled as it looked like it was coming to the motion man coming to the bottom of your screen, and that was Sanduku Kamara. And they're going to recover it but lose 4 yards. So Bracey loses 4. He kind of stuck the ball out. I was wondering if that motion play was set up to get an additional movement and a handoff there. They're not going to have time to run this play. I'm not sure why they're even coming out of the huddle.
Good call.
And here he comes in for it to let them know they didn't get out in time. 14-0 your score here as they get an additional 7 and open things up as the Dragons are a quarter away from being City Series champions here in 2019. Dave Schick and Joe Pukansky bringing you this great broadcast of City Series Championship action on APSIS. APSIS thanks the Akron Felt and Chanel for their support of Akron Schools and Athletic. Akron Felt and Chanel specializing in screen printing, embroidery, and photo printing. Culinary arts, pet management, cosmetology, and masonry are among the many and diverse, exciting programs offered every day at APS. Akron Public Schools, online at akronschools.com. Not the shootout we were thinking when you saw these two high-octane offenses, but it has been a stressful game for those of us sitting on the edge of their seats trying to figure out what these teams were going to be able to bring tonight. And it's been a lot of parity as he has time, a lot of time in the pocket, rolls out, really came far back on the passing play and makes a dive to get back to the line of scrimmage. Does Bracey.
Yeah, he actually got a few yards on that with the dive.
Sets it up now, 3rd and long as we're here in the 4th. He'll have Cooke in the backfield with him. And they fake the blitz and then come back into coverage. They'll send 4, has time. Kind of, you could see his feet were dancing, throws it up. It's going to be short and incomplete. Pass intended for number 13. Just didn't seem like he felt comfortable there. As you could see, he was trying to make a play and look downfield, and that one going to Zion Pathner. His first target so far tonight. No completions for the Griffins throwing the football.
Only thrown it 3 times. They really haven't tried to air it out at all.
And even sometimes just getting a short bubble screen or even something out of the backfield can really open things up. But now they'll have to punt this one away in their own territory.
I think 6 punt, if I'm not mistaken, today.
You are right. Again, slow personnel coming in. 6 possessions.
Well, I was going to say way too many guys on the field.
And they're going to take another time.
Nope, they didn't get it off, I don't think.
Wait, what? Oh, we're waiting? Oh, no, they didn't get it off.
Delay, then they're not going to take the time off. I would have took the delay there and not wasted the time.
That's what they did.
Too much of that happening in week 10. You know, too many times the play not getting in quick enough. West back to punt again.
Yeah, good snap.
Yep,
flag down at the line of scrimmage. And he's going to pick it up at the 35, breaks the tackle, misses another one.
He wants to come this way so bad.
Yeah. And he's going to lose yards on it, but we have a flag down at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be interesting to see what that call is. Could move him back even further if it's against the Griffins. It almost looks like one of those ones for where the spot is, like someone ran out of bounds maybe, but it was thrown a little early.
And it's on the Griffins. I'd make them kick it again. Oh, there's another one over here, one on each side.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to decline it. All right, my question is, are they going to pick that one up on the 30? Yes.
All right.
All righty then.
So they set up now, 1st and 10 from the 29. 2 flags, and we really didn't move anywhere. Late coming on is number 2, Robinson. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be standing there as he comes back out of the field. And the ball off right side, cuts back in, and he'll gain a yard before we blow the whistle.
Well, obviously that's not the old point of emphasis. Because remember, you used to have to break the huddle or it'd be a substitution infraction. We'd have had about 6 of them today.
Yeah. It is not the lack of focus for a championship game on who's just supposed to be on the field seems to be tough.
And part of that can be week 10 and attrition because of injury and potentially grades as well with 9 weeks, the second 9 weeks being over. So you could have some health and grade casualties that we see at this time of year on occasion.
4 wide for the Dragons, rolling to his right. Rozier pushes a man forward trying to get a block, and he gets outside. A high step.
Oh!
Almost not needed, but it does get him a first down.
He got popped, but he'll take the 12 yards.
Add that to his highlight reel from the touchdown run earlier this half. Kind of tried to hurdle a tall player, though. That's a tough part.
And I'll tell you what East has done in this ballgame. Their biggest plays has been 30 yards. They've popped 2 plays over 25 yards, and that's it. But it's been ball security. They've put the ball on the carpet twice, but they've gotten it back both times, and they've taken care of it the rest of the way. They haven't let this Buchtel defense get back in the game by making a big play.
First down and 10 now from the 43. Just under 10 minutes here left in the game. Rozier has time, throws a little
ball.
Screen pass, and is going to be caught by Felton. So he gains about 8 on the catch.
And that opens up when you start running the ball effectively.
Felton hadn't been anywhere close to being targeted in the passing game.
He slipped over the middle there for a nice little gainer.
As he looks to run it up the middle this time, and wow, gets like 10 yards on that second effort. So he's going to get 13 yards on that one. As Rozier now back-to-back double digits on his carries.
Well, he has last 4 carries, 8, 10, 12, and 13. So he's kind of playing that role of we're wearing them down now, boys.
And the main thing is this drive taking off the time on the clock. 3 at the top of your screen. Rozier is going to take all of his time. And Buchtel kind of back on their heels because they're expecting him to hike it, but he's waiting for the hand to come up. And they hand the ball off, and a big play again, 8 yards. And that's what can be defeating as Felton gets 8 on 1st and 10.
Yeah, you can start to sense it now. I'm sure the Dragons can.
And that's a demoralizing play. The Griffins almost waiting because it's been a longer cadence than they saw the first part of this game. But a nice job by Rozier to kind of see it and allow the clock to be your friend. He'll do it again. There's the back official on the right of your screen, you'll see. Hands the ball to Felton, and this time they stuff him up, no gain.
Felton, the ball carrier. Decides to make his quarter.
So 3rd down and 3 with under 7.5 left.
Loss of 1 on the play, moves up 3rd and 3.
As they come out. Now they're looking back as they don't have a lot of time left, and that'll probably be a timeout, and it is.
Yep.
So as much as you're trying to keep it moving, a timeout by not getting something correct stops the clock here with 6:51 in the fourth, leading 14-0. The Dragons are over the Griffins.
In control of this one in time of possession, and they're just kind of grinding it out in that clock. Every play they run, Buchtel sees their chance slipping away because they just don't have much time left, especially with only one timeout left.
Well, yeah, and we saw some of their timeouts needed just to get personnel stuff correct. So you eat those up, but they just haven't been able to get that big play that they've been known for throughout this season so far. And as much as it's helpful to play those tough teams at the beginning of the season, I think both teams kind of came into today's ball game, one, hyped up and ready to go, and kind of overly hyped. But the practice of playing a softer schedule right before this, you could see they keep wanting to try to run outside to get a big play, where here you can't do that. You got to get the couple of yards that you can get, and usually that's running north and south. Hikes the ball to him, runs up the middle, has a first down, and will gain 6 on it as Rozier continues his pace to keep the clock moving. The chains are moving as well.
Uh-oh. Yep.
The lights went off here in the press box. Not in the stadium.
Might be able to see better.
I was thinking for a second, do we have a power outage? But the stadium lights are still on, so
Good night.
Just adding to the mood setting here in the press box. Still 1st and 10 on the field, of course, from the 25. And obviously our pace, I could read some spots in between.
Maybe somebody tried to turn the heat on.
Maybe.
I
Goes
can't
up the
complain.
middle.
I'm inside. I can't complain.
Gains 2, does Felton.
Ball carrier is tackled by Ricky Good.
85 yards on 17 carries for Felton. 87 yards on 13 carries for Rozier.
Player of the game is not going to be easy, Joe. Stat-wise, it's pretty close.
I think I've already picked it. No, I've not picked it. There's 5:30 left. Come on. I think I'm leaning.
Yeah, probably pretty heavily in one direction.
And it might surprise you.
Catches it and runs it outside. Gets a good seal. Gets around the corner. He's at the 10. Comes back in. Is going to just go out and short. Get him at the 2-yard line. So he'll gain 20 on that one as Rozier gets great blocking to get around the edge. Sets up 1st and goal.
Takes him over 100 yards on the day.
1st and goal.
Well, and as you've mentioned a couple times, under 5 minutes away from going multiple quarters without any touchdowns scored against you.
You're not going to lose if you don't give up points. Captain Obvious.
1st and goal now. And they bring in the fullbacks behind him in the I formation. And the ball's dropped. He picks it back up, rolls left, still on his feet, and goes down, and they'll lose yardage, and a flag is down along the line of scrimmage as well.
It's going to be a face mask.
They lose 5 yards.
They're going to gain it back. The gentleman over there is. Oh,
Better
no,
pick it
they're
up.
not. No horse collar. So they are going to lose it. You're correct.
A loss of 5 for Rozier on a broken play. And interesting on that play, they brought in Zion Grigsby and Cameron Cozy.
Who with the big lineup.
Yeah, both of them. Rick Grigsby at 5'9", 165, the freshman, and then Cozy, the 6'2", 210-pound senior. And they're still in there this time. Ball is again dropped, and Buchtel looks to be on top of it. And they do have it, so they make a goal line stand and get a turnover, and will take over on the 10-yard line.
Gives them a glimmer of hope here.
Back-to-back fumbles for Rozier. And just odd. It almost seems like there was a different play coming in. You have two new running backs. You based most of your success tonight on having Felton or McAllister or Rozier running it, and then you bring these two other guys, and you think maybe Rozier is going to keep it for another touchdown. Bobbles both of them and can't get the ball. So now they're going to have to defend here for the last 4 minutes. But Buchtel's got a long way to go and looking to hit a home run. Rolls right along the goal line, throws at the toes of his defender as that one goes to Kamara for an incomplete.
Yeah, they almost went to Kamara for 6 if he would have threw it up.
Second down and 10 off the incomplete. He also had pressure as he rolled to his right.
Buchtel with 0 passing yards. Like I said, they haven't attempted it much, but just nothing there.
4 wide as they set up again. Bobbled on the handoff, but given to Cooke, who spins and turns and gains 6.
50 yards on 9 carries for Marquell Cooke.
And it looked like, what was it? Deshaun Jones came out with the ball, but they're saying he was down first.
That clock is running fast.
Only send 3 after him this time, but they still get through, and he forces the incomplete. What a mayhem as he was double teamed, but still the Dragon, Triquel Williamson, comes through the defensive end. The senior breaks through and forces the incomplete again by Bracey.
And I don't know if it's by design or if it's because of pressure, but I haven't seen a quarterback throw except one time where their feet have been set. They've been flushed or on the move at all times, and it hasn't worked out. They're going to take their last time out. They're going to go for it here. They have to.
So they take a timeout, down by 2 touchdowns. While we are at the break, I want to let you know Akron Public Schools pre-engineering program is among the best in the world. The robotics teams have been winners in the world and national tournaments, and it all starts here in Akron Public School classrooms. Learn more at akronschools.com. I've had so many penalties. I think I've read all my spots. Yeah, you turned yourself down. But you could certainly like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all of our Akron sports. So we cover football, basketball, and baseball, and softball here on APS-IS, your information station.
4 sports stars.
Softball championship, our first year last year, and it was a good one.
It was smooth.
So 4th down and 4 from your own 16-yard line. And is this where we see our first pass completion? Well, let's hope so.
Oh,
Hard
no
count
need.
gets him right through.
He's like, yeah, you got me.
Marlon Lee flew through because the ball hadn't been snapped yet.
They're like, Marlon, what are you doing?
We had him. We had him 4th down. What are you doing?
I think Marlon is saying, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one's on me.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I wonder, I was flying through there.
If that ball was snapped, he might have taken the snap.
Yeah. Well, 1st and 10.
Oh, I'm going to go in back to Johnson here at quarterback.
I see.
They're keeping you busy.
Johnson back in. And looks to throw deep. Has a man there along the sideline.
Nice
That looks like a catch.
Yes.
And it is our first completion.
29 yards.
Goes for 29. Who caught that?
Gibbons.
Yeah, his second target. First catch, though. First completion. Half the field now is left between them. And you got to wonder. I mean, we don't see our first pass completion till 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And it took a great tight wire act by Gibbons on that far sideline.
Stayed on his toes, makes the catch, hands the ball off to Cooke, spins, and gets 3.
You can't do that much more, though, unless you're going to get first downs with the runs, because by the time they get this off, where we're going to be.
And not a lot of urgency and speed coming in with the play.
It's hard to run a hurry-up offense without an experienced quarterback.
The Dragons come with a blitz. He flushes out to the left, has a man there trying to get around the corner. He turns into a runner, and he's taken out of bounds.
And they're going to keep that clock going, which is even bigger.
Yeah, so he's considered tackled inbounds.
Cartier Trammell with a huge run support play. Like you said, keeping Johnson in bounds.
Now under almost 2 minutes left. And that one play is going to keep off about 25 seconds.
Yep. Huge play.
Communicating a lot by the Dragons. You can see teammates looking to blitz again, coming up the middle. They do. He comes right through, has to throw it quick, takes the hit, ball's up, and it's intercepted by the Dragons.
Uh-oh. Penalty, though. Hands to the face, maybe.
He did come after him, but I thought it was during the play. Personal
Roughing
foul.
the passer.
Big play taken away. Probably too late now, but
I don't know.
They blitzed him coming up the center.
I mean,
I'm not sure. I mean, they were coming after him hard. I didn't see the roughing the passer, but
I know, because there was a guy. I don't know if it was the second guy that got him. Maybe
could be.
There was
yeah,
a guy right there. It couldn't have been on him.
Yeah, the guy that made the first play was Marlon Lee.
Unless he went to the head.
But he stepped into the pocket, made a good throw. Still intercepted, though.
You know, a blow to the head is going to be automatic there.
Yeah.
And they didn't show that when they called it. They just called personal foul.
Well, and it's one of those things, too. Again, got to know what the dynamic of the game is. You're up 2 scores. Even if he catches it, still going to walk away with the victory, presumably. The odds are in your favor. Also stops the clock. Now he has time. Flushed out, runs to his right, throws to the middle. Caught, short of a first down.
Might have to take
Stays
a timeout.
inbound as well. Goes to Gibbons for 6.
And Gibbons is like, man,
I've been open all game. That's what every wide receiver says. I'm open all the time. Has some time, flushed out again, runs to the right.
he's going to get it.
And he's going to get the first down, go out of bounds. He'll gain 6. 113.
If they can get it in the end zone, that'll at least allow them an opportunity of the onside kick.
Yep, and you're going to need another big play. And so far, you haven't been able to say that there is one, but you did have the big passing play for 29. Cooke has one for 39, but most of his runs have not been in the double-digit fashion outside of that one outlier.
I think you got to throw now.
Goes to the end zone. Looked like he was going for the pylon, but his wide receiver came up short. It'll be second down.
And pretty tight coverage there. Probably a good ball to kind of sail out of bounds.
And I think no doubt Gibbons being targeted again.
Yeah.
He's got their only 2 completions. You got to go back to him.
Well, by far the closest the Griffins have been. Can they punch it in?
Has time. Throws on the flank. Looks to go outside. Stays inside. Goes back outside. And taken down for a gain of 1 as Young nowhere to go.
And another great job in space, tackling in space, keeping in bounds. That time, Deshaun Jones. Yeah, well, you want him to catch that ball. Go ahead, take your 3 yards. And here comes 20 seconds off the clock.
We have an injury timeout, so that's going to stop it there.
Looks like Johnson down.
Mm-hmm. We have an injury, so we'll take a quick timeout here on APS-IS. So Young comes off the field under some help, so we certainly wish him the best. On that last run play, he was injured. They're going to bring Jordan Jr. back in
Got
to
time.
help him. He's looking, and he's going to end up running it. Stays inbounds again. And we may have one more play as they're trying to get everybody off the sidelines. But the clock is running, and we're at 26 seconds.
You got to throw that ball. Even if you can't get out of bounds, you got to throw that ball away.
Stop the clock. This is 4th and 6, though.
Even if you got to force it at this point.
They set up early, 12 seconds now.
This might be the last play.
I think so.
It's going to be now.
Has time. Keeps backstepping, now steps forward, and it's going to end with a sack.
That's about the...
As the defense again makes it happen, and they become City Series champs. And Cameron Cozy comes in for the sack, and that's going to end the game. The team comes on to celebrate as they're going to win this one 14-0, as this Dragon defense has held the Griffins scoreless. We saw them do it against other City Series opponents, but now against the biggest one in the conference, they hold them scoreless as well and make it happen. They move to 7-3. The Griffins fall to a .500 season, and City Series championship has been a good one between 2 very evenly matched teams. You can see it, just a 2-score ball game, 1 score in the first half with in the second quarter. A 25-yard run by McAllister at 6:07, and then the last one in the third quarter, they were able to get a touchdown by Rozier from 8 yards out, and makes it the 14-0 win for the East Dragons to take the title.
Physical game, not a pretty game, kind of a well-played game, no, but physical, and a lot of that had to do with both defenses. For the Dragons, who are the champions once again, getting that title back from the Griffins, they were led by Romeo Felton, 17 carries and 85 yards, and their quarterback, George Rozier, with a big night, 15 carries, 102 yards. But without question, as this is the culmination of our year, the MVP of this game goes to a steel curtain-like defense that gave up 0 points in 5 City Series games. Yes, that's right, 5 straight shutouts. The entire East Dragons defense, without question, the MVP of this City Series and the MVP of this game included, with another shutout.
Congratulations to the East Dragons, and certainly the defense that set the precedence of being a champion, as they did here tonight as well. Well, we thank all of the collaborative efforts from the school administrators, teachers, and parents that empower Akron students to achieve their highest level of success. This broadcast has been brought to you by APS-IS, where we imagine, inspire, and inform. From Dave Schick and Joe Bukansky, good night.